Nerdly presents the feed where the reels unwind. Off the real podcast, digging deep in the grind. 80 flicks, low cash, big dreams in the frame. No blockbuster hype, just the realest in the game.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Nerdly Presents. This is a Nerdly Presents Off the Reel, an Off the Reel review. And today we're talking about a low budget British, Irish movie. I mean, that is British, but a low budget Irish movie called Amongst the Wolves. A movie I'm really excited to talk about because it does star Aidan Gillen. I've seen a lot of good stuff with Aidan Gillen in it, and it doesn't really matter how bad or how good a program is or a TV show is or a movie is, Aidan Gillen's part in it is usually one of the better things. So this was definitely a film that I saw him on the poster, I saw him in the credits, and I thought, yes, I will check that out. I also do like a bit of an Irish drama, so that also helped sell this movie. So here I am now, sitting down to talk about Amongst the Wolves. My name is Kevin Halden. This is Nerdly Presents Off the Reel. You can go over to our website, nerdly.co.uk, where you can read all our reviews over there. We've got plenty of people over there who write awesome reviews, and somebody over there may have even reviewed this movie as well, so you'll get yourself a second opinion on the movie. I will be doing what I normally do, and that is talk about the plot of the movie. Then I'll jump into the cast and crew of the movie. Then I will talk about what I did and didn't like about the film, and then give you my final off the reel review rating. I'm getting much better at getting off the reel review rating out. It's just working a little bit better. It flows off the tongue, so I'm feeling a little bit better about this. So with all that good stuff, with all the bump done and out the way, we can get into the review proper. According to IMDb on this one, on the streets of Dublin, Danny, a homeless man grappling with the ghosts of his past, finds himself caught in a cycle of despair and survival, haunted by memories of his time serving in the Royal Irish Army. Danny's life takes a turn when he encounters Will, a young teenager on the run from a dangerous drug gang. And yeah, as plot synopsises go, that is pretty dead on. We do meet Danny, who's kind of out and about living sort of the homeless life. Life has not been too kind to him. Yes, he did serve in the Irish Army, but when we meet him at the start of the movie, it's a little bit of a flashback kind of moment where his child comes downstairs to see him, but he's kind of passed out drunk on the couch and ends up dropping a cigarette, and kind of the house goes up in flames, and we're led to believe that the child is burnt pretty badly. Luckily everybody gets out, but the child is burnt very badly. So then when we do meet Danny proper, in the present day, he is a homeless person. He's living out homeless. His wife has got very little, that she wants nothing to do with him. She's kicked him out. She's moving on with her life. And he does meet Will. Will is trying to avoid the local drug gangs because he's been embroiled in that life but no longer wants to be a part of that life. So he's being pursued by a gang who claim that he owes them a load of money and they're going to get what is owed by any means necessary. The two of them kind of begin sleeping rough together and form a little bit of a friendship, and Danny's probably going to look after Will a little bit, but there's only so much he can do, so we will find out what is going to happen as the movie goes on. And that is the plot. So let's just jump into our cast and crew, because there's not a lot else we can say. And I'll start with Luke McQuillan, who plays Danny, and I think Luke McQuillan does a fantastic job here. He really is kind of that strong, introspective, silent type. But he's seen things and he's done things, he's been part of things that he's A, not proud of, B, can't shake the memory of, and C, just affects him very deeply. However, he can absolutely handle himself. So when it does come to throwing down or even just being the bigger man and just standing up for someone, he's more than capable of doing that in spades. I really enjoyed Luke McQuillan in this role. Daniel Fee as the teenager Will. Again, a put upon character. Not necessarily a damsel in distress, but he is kind of that. You know, he doesn't want to be in this situation. He's not built for this situation. So when Danny comes along and all of a sudden he has this strong, positive kind of, I wouldn't say positive, but he has this strong role model who can look after him and he can look up to, he starts finding his feet within the movie. He starts figuring out who he's supposed to be. Will is this character that is going to be seen as weak. We want to look after him. We want to nurture him. We want Danny to do everything he can for him. And Daniel Fee plays that role well. He made me care about Will. He made me want Daniel to protect him. Aidan Gillen is the local gangster, the local mobster, the big bad of the movie, and he plays it very subtle. I did really like it. He's not playing the cartoon villain, if you will. He's not going over the top with things. He gets some really nice monologues that are sort of telling the character or telling the person across from him, look, this is what I'm going to do to you, and this is the life you're going to live, and this is exactly who I am, without actually saying anything too overtly out there. He's just laying it out in a sort of monologue type speech that he's giving the character. I love when Aidan Gillen does this, and I think Aidan Gillen is perfect in this role. And if you're going to make a movie in Ireland with Irish characters and being Irish, Aidan Gillen, if you can get him, you absolutely should get him. And director Mark O'Connor got him and got him in spades. And he does elevate the movie. Of course he does. Having him in there elevates every piece of this movie. Now, there is a character in this movie. I didn't catch his name. I really do wish I had. But there's the gang that are kind of following Will. And it consists of 3 or 4 guys. One's definitely called Frenchie, but I don't think he's the one I am thinking of. The lead lad with the blonde hair, kind of slick black blonde hair, I will put a picture on the screen so you can see what he looks like. I didn't catch the character's name, and when I went on IMDb, his picture doesn't have a face, or I couldn't see his face in there. So I do apologise for not knowing who this actor is. But this actor is fantastic. He's so good in this role. Really, really menacing and really sets the tone for who this gang are. And I genuinely had no idea at any point what this guy was going to do. The way he plays this role made me fearful more of him than Aidan Gillen or anyone else in the movie. Not a massive role, not a great deal to do, but everything he did was perfect for me. A cheeky little shout out for Ben Condron from Swingbout fame. Swingbout was a movie that I watched about 2 months ago. Really, really enjoyed it. A boxing movie. Ben Condron was in that. He has a very, very small role in this. It's a bit part, really. Kind of blink and you will miss him, but I did see he was there and it was cool to see him. Now I do want to talk a little bit about director Mark O'Connor, writer-director Mark O'Connor, because this was co-written with Luke McQuillan and Mark O'Connor, but as a director I think he's done a fantastic job here. I think he's absolutely smashed it out the park in terms of casting. I do believe Luke McQuillan is just one of these actors that, although I can't tell you a lot of what he's been in, I do think he's definitely got something there that he could really flourish and thrive. And having Aidan Gillen as the guy who's going to lead this mob, who's the big bad, the overall force of nature within the movie, just a touch of genius, because he can do no wrong in my eyes. And when he does play these roles, he plays them very well. He's a bit of an ass, and we love Aidan Gillen as an ass. Just everything about this movie does slap. Cinematography wise, it looks brilliant. Music, sound, score, Foley, all that good stuff, it just sounds brilliant. And I don't really have a massive great deal of negative to say about this movie, because I watched Protein recently, another British movie. I like gritty, grimy and real. I'm a big Shane Meadows fan. That is kind of my wheelhouse. Dead Man's Shoes, This Is England. I love it when we get to see those down on the ground boots level movies like this that really speak to the heart and really show you that these things are going on out there, and when you really look into them, there is another level of what's going on. Yes, we have a homeless man who's struggling out there and he's having a hard time. A little bit further beneath those layers, and there's a whole PTSD story going on here. There's a whole mental health story going on here. There's a whole social care out in the community kind of story going on here. And when you open yourselves to those stories, it becomes a bit more than just a story of gangsters chasing down a little kid and this homeless guy's going to try and help him out. It becomes more than that. So you need to look into those parts, find those parts, and that's where the movie really lies. Now, we did make a movie a few years back called Stalker. I'm quite a big Barry Keoghan fan, and retroactively I've been going back through some of his back catalogue, and checking out other movies, and it was a little bit of a surprise to find that Mark O'Connor had directed a movie called Stalker, which I have seen now with Barry Keoghan in it, and the similarities between these two movies are quite similar. There's a few things in there that do toe that line and do sort of like, maybe we've had another crack at the whip on this, maybe our writing's a little bit better, maybe we've just got a bit more of an idea of how we would make this movie now. Things I didn't like, I don't know, there's not a lot of things that I haven't spoken about already. I really like the acting in this movie, I really like the dialogue in this movie, I love the tones of this movie, especially when you get to that latter, like, last third of the movie, when Danny is kind of going after the gangsters and he's turning up at their sort of place of work. I loved the way this all went. There was some really nice moments where the sound really takes over and the verbal and the dialogue becomes less and the sound becomes more, and really sort of taps into that psyche and builds tension and makes you kind of really on edge, not easy about the situation. I love all that stuff. There's not a lot I didn't like, other than I maybe could have done with a little bit more fleshing out of the Aidan Gillen character. Danny could have done with a little bit more fleshing out. Will could have done with a little bit more of a fleshing out. But I feel like to get on with this movie, to understand this movie and to enjoy this movie, I had everything I needed. So everything else would have just been added coloured bubbles. And we don't necessarily need all the bells and whistles all the time. We can just get on with the movie as is. So yeah, it's a small thing, but it's a thing. So I'm going to get into my off the reel review rating, and yeah, I'd be quite happy giving this movie a 4. I think this movie is a solid 4 out of 5. I think it's a great little movie. You'll have a really good time with it. You will enjoy it if you like Irish movies, if you like dramas from the Irish Isles, if you like stories from those kind of areas. You don't have to be Irish to get it though. Like there are a lot of British movies, a lot of English movies, Scottish movies that touch on these kinds of things as well. Sweet 16 comes to mind. It's quite like that as well. You're in for a good time watching this. It's not a joyful watch. It's not a happy watch. It does have a little bit of a happy ending, but for the most part, it's quite a hard watch, an unflinching watch, a raw look at life in those areas and life in areas like that. So I do think you should absolutely check out Amongst the Wolves. I'll 100% be checking out Mark O'Connor's work going forward. I loved Aidan Gillen in this movie, and once again, the lad whose name I couldn't find, there will be a picture on the screen. Please do. I need to know who this kid is, and I want to see him in more stuff as well. With that, I am going to go. It's a 4 out of 5 for Amongst the Wolves. Please do check it out. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought of the movie. That's where the conversation continues. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, and ding that notification bell. Go over to nerdly.co.uk and check out all the reviews we have over there. My name's been Kevin Halden, and I am gone.